Hello and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today is going to be a bit different from what we normally do, as today I'm going to be going over some of my problems with the MLS and Union as of lately. And this is going to be a bit of a longer one, so without further ado, let's just get into it. To start off with, Joe Bendik is absolute trash. He cannot stop the most simple shot to save his life. All the goals we conceded in the game against LA last night, we're just up to him with poor positioning, blunders, or just not being able to save the most simple shot. I'll probably put up some pictures of each one right now, but, come on. Very bad for each of them. And for reference, to show just how bad he is in comparison to Blake being a god amongst men, for reference, in all the games that Blake has started, we've won 9, drawn 3, and lost 3. So out of a possible 45 points, we got 30. Which means that out of the 15 games he's played, we've gotten points in 75% of them, and a win rate of, I think, probably a bit less, but still a very good win rate. And then you look at what the trash bag Joe Bendik has done in the games he started. We've won 1, drawn 1, and lost 4. So out of a possible 18 points, we got 4. Which means we got points in only 33% of games Bendik has started in. And yet, looking at all this, Jim Curtin still decides that he's the reliable number 2. You cannot look at these stats and look at our performances and think, you can't look at our performances with and without Blake and then with and without Bendik and think that he's still the reliable number 2. At that point, like myself and many other Union fans believe, what the Union have to do is just, if Blake and Jamaica win tonight against Guatemala, I believe, if they win and continue on the Gold Cup, and he's out by Wednesday, which is our next game against Nashville, you need to put in Holden Trent. If you don't know who Holden Trent is, he is he's the third string goalie for the Union, who we just picked up in the draft this year. But if they just put him in, because Bendik has been horrible, and at least with Trent, if it is very bad, which it probably will be, you can use the excuse that it is quite literally his first professional game. It will be his first professional, not even start, just his first minute, his first second in a professional game playing. Maybe Bendik had he has some good personality that encourages the team in the benches or something, say they're down and then he's oh come on, blah blah blah. He's got that encouraging spirit. But other than that, don't keep him around. Either have him fired or have him retire and then just bring him back as a goalkeeping coach. Because he's not even MLS quality anymore, which is a very bad thing because MLS isn't one of the best leagues in the world. So if you're not their quality, that's not a very good thing to hear. So what I think the Union should do is either fire him, or if he retires or something, just bring him back as a goalkeeping coach so that he can give you tips on how to do all this, because he has the experience, but also he doesn't have to blunder in games and cost the team points that they easily should win for example, that LA game. But yeah, if Jamaica win tonight, which they probably will because it's Guatemala, just put in Holden Trent. It's honestly a joke how bad Bendik is. But yeah, go Guatemala, I guess, woohoo. The next thing I want to bring up about the Union lately is the lack of passion in the team and the fall of form. I've noticed that whenever this team doesn't have its full starting 11, Blake, Wagner, basically everyone, all the stars of the team, it just forgets how to play the sport and they don't fight to win. I genuinely believe if I told my past self about this, just lack of passion and stuff for the sport, past me would have laughed in my own face and probably given myself a concussion. But now this is reality. Without Blake, this team loses a lot of faith and a lot of games and gives up some very easy goals that they just realistically shouldn't be conceding. The one best defense in the league that made us very scary has been making countless mistakes this season that shouldn't even be happening whatsoever. Bedoya has been hurting this team with his age and lack of pace showing, and Flock should be sidelined more for Pereira, while Bedoya should be benched more for McGlynn. Don't get me wrong, I love Bedoya, I love Flock, they're very very good players in certain aspects. But Bedoya, he's starting to get a bit older, and it's showing and potentially hurting the team at points. And McGlynn can definitely put in a very solid job. And sometimes the reason McGlynn isn't so effective is because of Jim Curtin's subs that we'll get into later. Because by the time McGlynn gets into the game and is ready to serve those beautiful through balls, his attackers that he's trying to send him to are just too tired because of Curtin's very bad usage of subs. And with Flock, I love him. I've gotten a bunch of pictures with him. He's amazing, and I love when he scores. But realistically, Perea is probably the better player, and we signed him for a reason. And he's been basically just banished to the bench for the past few months. So I think just put him in for a few games, see how he does against Flock. And depending on how it goes, have him as the next player instead of Flock. Anyway, back to what I was saying before. Gazdag has been nowhere close to his former self, with his first goal from open play coming in May against New England, compared to his 20-something goals last season. Granted, it's still halfway through the season and he's got 7, but I think he was definitely behind what he was at this point last year. And Torres is the exact meaning of a one-hit wonder. I don't know why we signed him, and now that I think about it, it's probably he's now what I'm seeing why Montreal let him go for just so little. As besides his assist in 30 seconds with the skills against Columbus in the first game of the season and the goal against Chicago, he's done nothing for the team. All he does is do FIFA skills in his own half, down 3-1 in the 92nd minute, and shoot long shots that go nowhere near the goal. He's the new Martinez, except for Martinez can actually score some of his long shots, and he doesn't want to do the skills. Ura has been decent, but just not up to last season, and Carranza has been the only improvement upon last season, as I think he's currently 10th in goal tallies in the entire league, and he's been very good, but some games when he doesn't show up, you can really see how it affects the team. Finally, at least on the Union aspect of the team, is Jim Curtin's lack of substitutes. Curtin will not make a sub before the 65th minute if his life depended on it, and usually whenever he does, he puts in Joaquin Torres for some reason, and instead of putting someone useful in like Perea or someone of that quality. He can't do much in terms of the lack of passion and skill that Bendik displays as he's an absolute dog, but the subs have to be quicker and better and a bit smarter. Because Curtin, he's a really good coach. He's amazing. He's took us to championships, CONCACAF, Champions League, all these good things. But realistically, we just need a bit more from him in terms of his sub decision and making, and sometimes just a bit earlier. And also, I'm tired of in the after interviews when people are asking him about how Bendik is still in the starting thing and why you haven't even considered Trent yet. And when he goes, oh, well, he's earned this spot since Blake's absence. He may have earned them in training, but it doesn't show on the field, as you can see from earlier when I brought up his stat line. It just doesn't. He isn't made to be a starting goalkeeper. He's made for injuries and backups and desperate or whenever you're trying to rest for playoffs. He isn't made to be the starting guy. Don't give him the handles to the job. Let him just be the backup, get paid his paycheck, and just move on with life. The first part of my MLS rant comes with some fishy stuff surrounding the transfers of Messi, Busquets, and Jordi Alba to Inter Miami, and the rumors of Iniesta going there as well. For every MLS team, they have a salary cap, which means that each player can only be paid a certain amount, and then they have a DP, or designated player, who can be paid slightly more than the salary cap allows. And they have a cap as well to what they can be paid, I believe. So that's basically just a bit of background for what I'm going to get into coming up. I don't have a problem with Busquets or Alba in terms of monetary things, but then with Messi, he's not only guaranteed to get the DP, but also he's getting a cut of Inter Miami shirt sales and Adidas sales, and also he's getting a cut from the earnings of the MLS Season Pass, which is the platform that the MLS uses to stream every MLS game that you have to pay for. So you are quite literally paying Messi's wages if you just want to watch your favorite team week in, week out, which is very stupid. But the MLS finds this all okay, as they say it will help the league become more popular. It doesn't look like this, though, at least from my point of view, but rather it looks like you're trying to use all the money that you had to get Lionel Messi to play for your league, and as for the getting to grow the league, I don't think it will. As one of the things going against the MLS for a very long time was that it was a retirement league where basically old stars from Europe, say like the Didier Drogba's and Thierry Henry's, would go to basically get their paycheck, play a bit of soccer, and just basically get paid to live in like New York or Miami or Montreal or wherever they go. And the MLS has been like avoiding this, and they've been trying to go away from that with such signings as like Thiago Almada, and even not to get everything back to the Union. But one of the best things about the Union is they're known for their youth academy thing, and how many sales have come from them, such as Brendan Aronson, Paxton Aronson, and countless others that I can't really remember right now. But Aronson's are probably the biggest example. And then now you're trying to get Messi and basically that Barcelona squad back into MLS, which I think will kind of just give them that reputation as a retirement league again. I'll just have to see how it goes, but at least from this point of view, I don't really like how they're bringing these guys in. It'll be cool to see them play, but I don't know how I feel about it from that standpoint. My next complaint is about the skill gap between MLS players and then the players Miami have been bringing in, such as the Messis, Busquets, Alba, and how I just mentioned. Granted, they're older and worse than they used to be, but they still have been very competitive in their leagues. For example, in Ligue 1, Messi got 16 goals and 16 assists, so that means 32 goal contributions, and 7 goals and 4 assists in the Champions League. Not to mention, he just won the World Cup and scored in every round, being the group stage, round of 16, quarterfinal, semifinal, and final, with 7 goals and 3 assists in 7 games. Busquets, on the other hand, is in the 97th percentile for progressive passes, 94th percentile for passes attempted, and 91st percentile for aerial duels won, at 34 in La Liga. So if you want to say, oh, he doesn't have it anymore, that's why he's in the MLS, those stats prove you wrong right there. Now to go into Jordi Alba. He's in the 99th percentile for progressive passes, 99th percentile for passes completed, and 99th percentile for expected assists at 34 in La Liga, just like Busquets. So the same argument goes, if you don't think they're good enough for La Liga, right there proves you very, very wrong. And then basically, the thing I don't like, not only just like the monetary stuff, is just the skill. Putting the players of this quality that are still competing in the top 5 leagues in the world and the World Cup and putting them in the MLS is completely unfair, as they're just entirely too good for the league. This may come across as just like, oh, my team can't win, so it's completely unfair. But in reality, it is very, very unfair. It's the equivalent of putting the current Kansas City Chiefs in the XFL or USFL. They would just be completely overpowered, and it would be unfair for the quality of players there, as it would be for Messi, Busquets, Alba, and Iniesta to come and play in the MLS. Granted, I think some teams could maybe do bits against them, but I think if they keep this form that they have now, I just don't think that they're, I don't think we really have a chance with all of that. So, it'll be cool to see him play, but also at the same time, it's kind of like, I don't know, I kind of want my team to do good as well. It may be bratty, and it kind of is, but also at the same time, you have to, look at it from, how the league was growing and then all this. So, yeah, it'll be cool, but... The final thing I want to bring up before this video ends is the quality of the MLS Season Pass. If you don't know, and you weren't listening earlier, the MLS Season Pass is an extension on Apple TV where every MLS game is streamed, whether it be Cincinnati, basically every single team, every single game, all the playoffs. I think even League Cup will be on there. I don't know about that one though. But yeah, it's basically the thing that you have to pay for that. And the stupid thing is, not only do you have to pay for Apple TV, you also have to pay extra for the MLS Season Pass, which already there, you're getting a bunch of money, and you'd think the quality would be very good if you're paying all this money for a league that's on the rise with Messi and all that coming in. But no, first off, the quality of the games are horrible and look completely terrible. And the camera work for the games doesn't do them any more justice, as they're rarely stationary and they're rarely, focused on the exact play that you need to. They're always just moving around. You can see them, adjusting to where they need to be, but it comes way too late to when they need to be there. Next, in the Union Galaxy game last night, the game would randomly speed up, glitch to the point where you couldn't even see parts of the games, and you would kind of just see like little squares of the games. And then, and at times, they would turn off the game entirely and just force you to watch a screensaver type thing that it played at the beginning of games before coverage started for minutes at a time. And Apple has done nothing about any of these, and the MLS hasn't enforced anything either. And it's pathetic that you have to pay all this money to watch the games, and then stuff like this happens. I don't know if that last thing about the Union Galaxy with, like, the pregame thing randomly going when the camera's cut out, but, like, it's completely, like, it's just horrible. Like, not even just like, because you paid to watch the games, then all this happens, and nothing is done about it. I don't know if that's only just happened in that Union game, and that was just like a one-off thing, but the fact that it is happening is just, it shouldn't happen. And then, even then, like, granted, I'm not an LA fan, but it cut away from the third goal that they scored. Which, like, if you're an LA fan, that sucks. You're watching the game, then it gets cut out, and then when it comes back, you score. Granted, you still get the point, but, like, you're going there to watch the game. And unless you're in the stadium watching the game, you don't see that goal in real time. And it's honestly just, like, embarrassing that you have to pay all this money, and nothing's done about any of this. Like I said, I don't know if that was just a thing for that game and it was a one-off situation, but still, the fact that it's happening is, like, it's an abomination. Thank you for staying with me for this whole rant, though, and if you like the video, please like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers, which, yeah, not the biggest number, but still, it's something. But yeah, so if you like the video, please like and subscribe, watch some others, and I'll see you in the next one. And also, I might do some of these videos types more, and I've got some videos coming up in the next few days, so you don't want to miss out on those. So, bye-bye. See you later.